Good morning and welcome to today's live trading London session with pitchforks. Let's start sharing screen. And we'll look first at the news. So Thursday we've got Great British Pound red flag news at 1 p.m. So that's midday UK time and 12:30 UK time. So a lot going on there. And then of course we're in the run up to non-farm payroll tomorrow. And let's start with, I'm going to show you I had a new scan on EURNZD 95 pips here. And I know that I think there have been some other ones, but I haven't drawn those yet. And that's gone along quarter theory, and it's just up in the extensions. And I can see the extensions of another old scan going upwards there. So ideally what we would like is that this holds price and it comes back down. So we haven't got trade on EURNZD at the moment. And the other reason I wanted to show it to you was because this was formed from, or have I taken my markings off? It was formed from that trade we were looking at yesterday, I think. Or did I have another one? Oh, I might find it. Sorry, I've been cleaning up my charts. If I find the markings on something, I'll show you. So nothing on EURNZD that I want to look at the moment. EURNZD. Let's see what quarter. Where's my quarter? Okay, let's just have a look at this one. So this has come right up out past 1.79 thousand, but it does look like it's coming back under the 62 EMA into those extensions. Just tidy that up while we're here. So if we put an alert on this one, and let's have a look at what that stop loss would be. So it's just coming down into the extensions, and the 62 is coming down, and I just want to see what that stop loss would be. So we wouldn't want to get in until it's come through this inner extension. 15 pip, that's a bit too big a stop loss for me, because you'd want to cover your quarter theory, and that's up at 20 pips. So that's up to you if it does come down. And then you're looking for that zone of about 1.78,600 down to 1.78,500 as a take profit zone. But I don't like stop losses that big, and I do like to cover the quarter theory because I find it a bit risky otherwise. So we've got the 62 coming down. We're waiting for a break and a retest off that inner extension. And let's see if we put, just have a look here. So in Tokyo, it did quite a big thrust up, and then another one. This is a fast pair, and that's the scan we're in if you've got this one, 3rd of August. So it worked its way up. And what we would like to see is that those extensions do their job and bring it back in. So we'll mark it up. Let's see how many 10 pips would be. Just about where it is now. So wait for the break and the retest. You've got the pitchfork touch, break and retest if it does that for us. I mean, it might just be testing that 15-minute and decide it's going to carry on up even more. I don't know. But that's what we've got at the moment, and we've got it under the 62 EMA as well. So keep an eye on that one, but I don't really like that 20 pip stop loss myself. So that's EN. I'll put an alert on so we can have a look at it in case you are doing something with it. Okay. EURNZD. I had the alert up here. Doesn't seem to have done much for a long time. Just stalled out forever. That was our markup from yesterday. So it failed to make it up to the pitchfork. So we didn't get a pitchfork touch. It didn't carry on up. And it's just kind of gone into a slump. So it did a long, just stayed along the 62, did 150 pip move in New York yesterday, failed to carry on up to that nice area with a pitchfork and a quarter theory together, has come down to test the 15-minute and really just stayed along the 62, and price will always want to do that, just stay along that current momentum, that rolling line there. So no trade there. Although we have got a 75 pip gap between the pitchfork legs, so technically that means we could do a quarter theory trade. So is it going to carry on in its downward momentum? So you see how it just consolidated all the way along. Did one little push up in Tokyo towards the end, but nothing very much. It is now actually rejecting off the quarter theory. There's the pivot and the 15-minute line is running along there. So I don't know if that means it wants to carry on down or reject off that and go for the buy, because actually it didn't. Not that Tokyo has a big range, but it didn't. It tried to move up, didn't it? But at the moment it is below that. See what our hull says. That's saying buy on the 15-minute, but remember that is not the current trend here. You just saw it flash to red there, which is the 1-minute trend on the price. So this is a lagging indicator. It will be about 30% behind. Let's see what this decides to do. So only need 10 pips on this one. The other euros have been going up. See which one works. And also we need to see what other confirmations we've got. So at the moment, the quarter theory is saying buy because it's rejecting off it. And the 62 EMA is saying sell. That's our current 1 minute trend there. We can't put another trend on at the moment, so we're a bit short on confirmations. See what happened on. Okay, so a bit too big a stop loss for me, but you've got a break and a retest. You've got a pitchfork touch. You've got under the 62 EMA. So you've got EN. Let me just see how many pips that is there. So it's 12 pips it's done there. So you have got a sell set up, pitchfork touch 1, break and retest 2, and we've got it under the 62 EMA. We've got the pitchfork and the 62 EMA and quarter theory if you have a bigger stop loss in your red, between your entry price and your stop loss. But I'm not always a great fan on that size of stop loss. I don't usually take them when they're like that, even though I do like EN. So we'll just see what this decides it's going to do. It's just, but still I've got a buy candle on it. So it might be it's coming up to try that again. For 30 seconds, we'll just watch the end of this candle. Last 10 seconds. So I didn't quite close all the way with the body below, but that is a new sell candle coming down now. So if you are in this one, then you want 15 pips. Well, you've got 20 there, but put a stop. I'd put a stop profit in at 15 pips, and you're looking for it to come down to this zone here for your take profit. Let's just see where our stall out was before. So your previous lines of support and resistance were along that quarter theory. And EN, as Chance always says, you don't get into EN for 10 or 12 pips. So your take profit one area will be around that pitchfork. See if it stalls. If it stalls for a couple of candles, I'd come out. But if it does break through, then get it down to, that would be 30 pips down to that quarter theory. Looks like that's moving quite fast. already done the 15 pips. So if you are in it, put 1 pip stop profit in. Or your alternative is that you say to yourself, I'm just going to stay in a little bit of a drawdown if it goes back, and I'm going to keep it 3, that's 4.5, keep it about 3 pips behind, that's 62 EMA. And then the first area to look at, it's just wicking off that 15 minute. Just wait and see what this does for a minute.
Maybe worth seeing how the half-an-hour candle reacts to it.
Oh yeah, good idea. I don't like the way it's just decided twice to test the 15 minute, and whether that means it does actually want to go up, and therefore it's just testing that, and actually its true path is up, in which case if you stop profited out at that 1 pip. But I think I'd rather have that happen than lose money on it and be 3 pips behind on this one. Let's come to the half hour. So we've got 30 seconds left on this half-hour candle. This is that's the open, that's the highest it reached. This is the lowest it's reaching where the wick is, and that will be the close. This body there will be the close. So we're looking to see. We want it to, well, ideally we'd like a sell candle, a green one opening. We have got quite a strong body candle there, so that does look like, and that body was nicely on the wicking off that outer extension, so acting like an elastic band to pull it back in. It's just making its mind up what it's doing. So it's deciding. We've got an open candle, opening buy candle. So you can see it's just been testing that 15 minute. It's not breaking through that, is that, at the moment? But still below the 1 minute trend. Hopefully this is just then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes now of stall out, and then it'll carry on down, because that was a strong sell candle there. Last 10 seconds of this one. We've still got the 62 pointing down, remember. It's not that strong a momentum, but it is down. And it'd be nice if it dropped below this inner pitchfork line. I've got some things in the chat. Just have a look at the chat. What's your EMA set to? Oh, okay, yeah, 62 on the orange and 930 on the blue, which is 62 times 15 for the 15 minutes. It's so nice to stay with one trade till you narrate all the details. Oh, okay, thank you. I was hoping, because sometimes people like you just run through all the pairs and see what trades there are. So I try and do a mix. But as this setup was here, I thought it was worth showing how we watch it, although it's torture to watch it like this. So it looks like it didn't like that 15-minute, but we've still got that in our favor with the 62 coming down. If it starts to break this 1 minute and then come back up, you might, if you are in it, I don't know, you have to work out. I still think it's going down because of the 62 pointing downwards, but it'd be nice to see it cross that inner line. And you can see that you do get stall outs before price tries to make its push in either direction. So it's not unusual to get, as we know, 6 minutes of stalling out. We'll just watch the end of this last one. Which ones have I done? Euro EN. We looked at Euro CAD. Nothing on that. EJ. Ord CAD. I'll look at Euro GBP and Euro USD in a minute. So as I say, EN's a fast pair, so you wouldn't normally expect it to stall out for a long time. 1516 there. But it could be because it's coming up to a bit of an end of a strange week for the market with the non-farm payroll and everything. So that 62 is just coming down a little bit. So decide if you're staying at 1 pip stop profit. If you're going to push it to 5, you'll get taken out, depending on your broker's spread and commission. That would be about there. But it's you're not above your previous high. So ideally, you'd want to be 3 pips behind your 62 and above your previous high. But you might want to, if I was in it, I'd pinch it to that one pip, even though it's just in front of the 62. I'd probably be pinching it a bit now, because I always prefer to be 1 pip in profit than think that I could lose 3 or 4 pips here like that. That's technically the better place at the moment, but it is edging up. So that looks to me now like it does want to push up to touch this again. But it might touch that pitchfork again and come down again, give you another entry. So you need to be 3 pips behind in order to still be in the trade. I want to leave and go and look at some other pairs, but every time I do that, I think it's just about to run down for us. Because normally EN's fast and it'll run down and you've got your 20 pips easily. That's it, the 62 is just coming down there now, which is nice, just crossing that inner line. So whenever I'm in a trade, I'm always thinking what I've just spoken about out loud. I'm always thinking that, do I keep it there? Do I put it to 1 pip? Do I get then taken out with just 1 pip and be cross with myself? But then I don't want to lose 3 or 4 pips worth of money. This is looking a bit better for us, that stronger green candle there. It'd just be nice to see it break that 15-minute line. And that's nice that the 62 has now come down through that line there. That's good. And that'll be a reflection of what's happened there with that green candle. So we'll just start to look at a couple of other things, otherwise we'll not get through anything else. Euro JPY, because there may well be no setup, so that is, oh, and I haven't looked at the scanner today either, for new scans. So that's the orange has crossed down, it's wicking off the inner extensions. So Euro JPY, waiting for it to turn round, do a break and a retest back and get the extensions to ping it back in. But as I say, I haven't looked at the new scans. I'll come back to EN in a second. OrdCAD. Oh, we've missed one there. That's pitchfork and a quarter theory together. So a very nice setup there on OrdCAD, but we've missed it. And that's working its way down very nicely. So you would have got in where that price touched the 62 there. And it's done 8 pips. It's back up there. So that break and a retest back to the 62, that would have been the entry there. So you've got the 62, the pitchfork touch, and the break and the retest with quarter theory, and you've got that downward trend. So you've got your confirmations for a sell there, but that one's gone. That looks like it's coming up now, doesn't it? So it's stalled up. Didn't like that 15-minute at the moment. So it might be coming back up to test that and then carry on down. How many pips has it done? 14 it did. So if you are in it, you have to decide if you're chickening out of it, or whether you think that 62 is going to carry on down, or is it losing its momentum and going to curl back round? Is it coming back for another retest and then carrying on down? There's sometimes when I've been caught like this and I thought, oh, I wish I'd just taken the 15 pips. But then if you do take the 15 pips, then you're not doing yourself a justice with a fast pair like EN. So it's always difficult in these trades to hold your nerve unless they run very fast. OrdCAD we've looked at. Let's have a look at Euro GBP and Euro USD. GAG. Nothing for us on that at the moment. Have anything in the chat? Jumping into trades too early and being stop lossed out. Jumping in too early. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because if the confirmations are there, then you're just working your percentages, because we work on principle of a minimum of 70% of these pitchforks work and 30% don't work. Sometimes it's just the 1 out of the 3 that are failing that you've got caught in. Sometimes price reverses on you and you have to decide to be aggressive and go the other way with it. And sometimes you get stop lossed out. But if you're getting in too early, say on this trade, the candle to have got in at, so you see it's doing its break and its retest. Sometimes I've got in too early because I've thought the trade's running away with me, and then it hasn't. Sure enough, it has come back up to do its retest, because I think it's Christopher Derrick always used to teach chance, no retest, no entry. So when you get to that point, and I know it's hard to be that precise, like chance is so quick doing it, but there's that little doji candle there, there's the wick off there. So ideally the one to get in on would have been that one there, which is only about half a pip away, 1 pip away. That one, a sell candle opening under the pitchfork after the break and the retest. So you don't want to be getting in there or anywhere here, or on a buy candle, or on that blue little buy candle there. Even that one's a bit dodgy because the whole body hasn't closed underneath, although it has wicked off. Most of the body has closed underneath, but that's the one to get in on, anywhere on that one. So that's how you judge it. And sometimes I'm a bit slow pressing the button, so I've lost a couple of pips down there. So that is now carrying on down. And we've now got our 62 under the inner extension. Right, so Euro GBP didn't have anything much on there. Euro USD. Euro USD went right up to that high, past 1900, and that was, I'll just show you what we've been looking at. That line here, the banks have been, this is the 1900 line. The banks have been trying to collect money they've left behind. That's the 1900 area. So they've gone 50 pips above that now. They've come back to collect that money. So they've got all their liquidity back from there. And the only next bit is if they push it right back up to 2 years ago. So that's what they've been doing. They did one push last week to that area, and then they've done this next push back. I've still got it marked up, expecting the sells. So now it's done that, got the orange. But I had my next entry level down here where that alert is. And then the next, the level it has to break is this one down here, previous lines of support and resistance. And then we were looking at it to run all the way down there. But at the moment, on this green scan, I haven't got an entry yet. I haven't got anything until it comes further down here. And it's not ideal because it's sitting equidistant between quarter theories in terms of trading. We need our pitchfork touch. So not ideal there. So what did we have up here? We had break and a retest of the pitchfork and under the 62 in the downtrend there. How many did we have there? We did have a break and a retest of 10 there, but no quarter theory, no fib that I could put on. Again, a lot of stall out there. But that's crossing down nicely. But I wouldn't normally myself get in at this level. I now have to wait until this next level on that one. Have a look at EN. A lot of stalling out still. But the 62 is moving down just slowly. So it's now 4 pips under that inner pitchfork. And there she blows. There you are, there's your 20 pips coming there now. So now you have to make your decision. Have you got your trade goal? Or because it's EN, price will always want to go to levels. Is it going to stall out? Or is it going to run down? You're going to get your 25 daily goal all down to that 30. So you need to see how it's stalling out. It's always difficult at this stage because you obviously want to, you've done your work, you've done your job. This is what we're paid to do. So, but on the other hand, don't be greedy, although that's only 1-to-1 if you had that trade, because that's a bigger stop loss. But price should technically, the 62, as Chance says, you've got no reason to come out of the trade if you're under the 62. But of course, if it comes right back up there and you're still only at 1 pip, or even if you've pinched it now, you're going to be stopped out at, that's 5. That's just about 5 where that blue line is. So, oh look, it's just wicking off your pitchfork there. So at this point, sometimes I just press the button round about here because, you know, that is your trade goal and nearest damn it your daily goal there. I know it's difficult.
Could be the 10 minutes before the hour that could be affecting that as well.
Well, that's true. Yeah, thanks for that. I didn't look at the time.
Don't want it to get to the hour mark and shoot back up again.
Yeah, so you're saying you'd probably stay in because it's 10 minutes to the hour.
I'm probably gonna come out of it.
You're coming out of it. Yeah.
As soon as it's gone past the 10 minutes to the hour, it's sort of flowing down.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I think that's very sensible advice. Connor's saying,
come out of it. Go back up.
The flukes, and very good advice. 10 minutes before the hour. So and then you've got your 25 pips. And it's just pushing down to that quarter theory. But don't be sad if you've lost out on 5 pips or so, because as as one of the traders used to say, a lot of traders walk away with nothing because they're not prepared to accept 60 or 70% of the trade. And you'll never really get 100%. So that's why we work to our percentages. And having sat in all that stall out, which isn't, you know, as long as some pairs, that's why I like trading these fast pairs, because you've got your job done for the day. And then the trick is not to get addicted to trading and sit in it and overtrade and then give a lot of it back in the afternoon. You know, we've all been there. So try and do it on demo, which isn't as much fun. Try and do it on demo instead. Someone mowing their lawn.
I need that back when you finish. Yes. Yes.
And I'm not even joking you. I've now got 3 plumbing problems in this house. And I'm sure it's because I'm always saying the word plumbers. I'm manifesting it. But a leak in the upstairs tap broken. It's coming on Sunday. Downstairs tap, which is new, has started spraying. And a leak in the ceiling's returned, which is from this upstairs apartment above me. So 3 plumbing problems now. I'm never going to say the word plumber again. So that's still pushing down, but we're at 8 minutes to the hour. Anyway, job done on that trade. I hope that was helpful. When I load that to YouTube, I'll say, you know, EN, how to run a trade, because I think that was a very good example. But normally what I found, you know, and you don't get weeks of non-farm payroll, pairs like this will run, EN, which is 10 out of 10, will run faster than that, because that took, sometimes it can just go straight down. That one took 30 minutes, so I suppose that wasn't too bad. And the 62 is still pointing down. So in which case you're looking at your next level here. But, you know, don't try and get too greedy, but that's 50 pips. And then 75 to 80 down there. So what you can do is keep pulling your stop profit down behind your 62 and adjusting it on your trading platform.
I'm out of that trade. Thank you for that, Sarah.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm very pleased that worked for you. There's the D point there, so it's already completed up there. And that's the area that we're looking at, just to remind you. But as I say, I'm afraid I haven't looked at new scans yet today. So, and I know there were some people saying last night. So let's look at EU. EU is, so the euros are dropping. GBP, AUD, GA. GA, it didn't cross over the blue down. It curled round, carried on for the buy, so it's carrying on its upward momentum. Fast pair, 10 out of 10. And we've got it just see what that again is a big stop loss. So did you put 20 pip stop loss on that, Connor, or did you not bother and just think, well, I'll just stick it at 15 anyway? Was he gone? I think he's gone to work.
Yeah, I'm here. So I did 15 on that one.
I know, I thought you probably would, because it's a fast pair, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I mute my mic, so I got a lot of background noise. Yeah,
technically we shouldn't, but right, so this is curling back round, 4 minutes to the hour. sure what that one's doing. What's the scan? I'm in a scan from way back when, I can't remember. Oh, ages ago on this one. Scan from January. Right, so at the moment, that's interesting. That this could be that pre-hour fake out, because it rejected all the way off quarter theory here for 42 minutes, and then it's dropped below the 62 and below quarter theory. So we've got quarter theory had been saying buy, the 62 was saying buy. If you remember, it didn't cross down, it curled up, carried on upwards. But the 62 is now saying sell, and the quarter theory is saying sell. And you probably won't have that scan, some of you. And remember, we've got Bank of England stuff coming up. So it's broken the 1 minute trend line. Looks to me like it might be coming down. I'll just put, sometimes what I do is I put 2 on, and then I can work it out, see which way things are going. So 15 pips stop loss. So that's the markup I'd be looking at on that, but we've got the pitchfork down there. Sorry, so that would need to be like that if it's going to go back down here. And again, you need a slightly bigger stop loss, because if it carries on to the upside on it's done that break and retest, then you don't want to get in till it's cleared quarter theory. So it's done 14 pips several times there. So it could be carrying on upwards, but you have got the 62 now curling round, and you've got the Bank of England, a lot of Bank of England interest rates and all that good stuff coming up in a couple of hours. So a lot of red flag on the Great British Pound coming up. And we'll just finish off by looking at GCAD. So we've done most of the fast pairs. I haven't done GJ, that's all. And then we're on the hour, and I'll see you back here at 2 p.m. UK time for New York. So similar, I can see an old pitchfork there, similar setup on GCAD. So I've got an old pitchfork I could use there. So 62 saying buy, it's above quarter theory and the pitchfork, but it's just curling round there on this end of hour candle. And that pitchfork is from the 16th of July, so you should have that one. That's that green faded one sat behind. So that's it for today. didn't really get break and a retest on that one. Just missed this one then. Yes, we did. We had, show you here, then I'm going to go. So we had break, retest, back to the pitchfork. You had pitchfork touch, gave you the break and the retest off quarter theory once, twice, and then you could have had your entry. So you could have had your entry there or there. So you might have come in here because you'd already had your breaks and retests. But if you didn't do that, it gave you the second entry there. And then it's already done its 20 pips very quickly, this one coming out of Tokyo. But it is a wild pair and it is still going up at the moment. But we've missed that one. That one started before London. So unless you set alarms, look at these setups and see what you've got here. Set your alarms beforehand, set your charts up. I didn't do that before, but on this one, but this session. So that's the 1 minute trend. So it is breaking that now. Whichever way you put that trend line, tighter or back there, it's giving you a break and a retest. So you can see the 62. It's come back down there, but GCAD is a fast pair as well. So it may push on up, but it has definitely done a break and a retest of its upward trend line, which implies that it is going to start coming back down. It's breaking the trend, literally. Okay, so I'm going to stop share. Let's just see what EN did. So it went down finally to, and then stalled out at 38 pips, 38.8 there. Although your 62 is coming down to cross the blue, which means it's going to carry on down if that happens. So when the 62 has crossed the blue, that means price is selling. We get into trades before the 62s cross the blue when we see the momentum, and we've got 3 confirmations anyway. So if that crosses, then it is definitely still selling. And you've got this next pitchfork here, so you're getting another entry if it carries on down here. So our break and our retest back is 14 pips. So this is what you would call a stack-in. So we would be opening a second trade here if we were still in the first. Chance is very good at this. I'm not so practiced at it. If I just show you, if we put that one back. So that was our first trade. We'd be looking at this like this now. Quarter theory stack-in for a second trade. 15 pip. Put that down at 20. You've had the break and the retest. You've got the orange crossing the blue. This is a perfect stack-in. And then what happens is you keep this trade open, but you might decide you're closing it out to secure the bag. So you've got your daily money that you want. And then once price comes below here and you're in the trade, you put your, you've got your, you can run your stop loss quite tight. So you've immediately got a risk-free trade. And then you say, okay, I'm going to see if so I've got 38, so call it 40 pips there, get another 40 to 45 to 50. So you've got 90 pips out of one trade in a couple of hours. So once you're in the trade, just take that blue line off the quarter theory. So obviously don't get into a trade like this until you've until it's cleared quarter theory. So we wouldn't be in this yet because although it did the break and the retest, it could stay in this sandwich area. It could just muddle along in there, okay? So you've got to be clear that it is going to, you've got a sell candle below your quarter theory. before you get in. But that is typically how we would run, and that 62 is still coming down. So you can either continue to run that one or decide you close it to secure. No, you've absolutely secured your pips, that you know you're not going to lose out big time. And then this one becomes your speculative one, where you're immediately putting, you know, you've got no drawdown, and then you keep pulling this, you run this tight behind your orange 62 as it comes down. So this is how we do a stack in. And I haven't done very many of them because I find that, you know, you just have to kind of get the confidence to close one and then keep another opening. Sometimes chance opens 3. So what you do is you keep running your stop profit down in line with that 62, pinch it down. So if price reverses on you, no harm done. You know, you've closed out then at 30 pips and you've got another 30 pips. So, but you don't lose all the pips off your first trade. So equally, you can keep it open, and then as this runs down, you know that you've got your 48 pips or whatever, and you keep that running down like that. So if price has got that far down and it reverses, you know that it'll take you out, but you're not going to be, it's not going to reverse on you right back up there. So you're pulling your on your trader platform, pulling your stop profit down on both of them. So that's now coming back up, but it could still be on the way down. That orange is coming down. So I'm going to stop the share now and say thank you for joining. Would using the fib make it obvious that the push down would be more likely? Yes, if there's a fib there, but I can't see where to put a fib on here. Oh, I see what you mean. I wouldn't normally myself, I haven't seen Chance do that, put a fib on when he's actually in a trade like this and run it. Normally I think we do them just on setups. I don't think I've ever seen him put a fib on when we're in a trade. I see what you're saying. Could I put a fib on from there to there? I think that would confuse the issue once you're in a trade, because you're in the trade now. So I think it's a question of just running it. I think the most important thing is the 62 EMA, to use that as your guideline to stay in a trade, because as he always says, you've got no reason to get out of a trade if you're the correct side of the 62 EMA, which we still are here at the moment. So no, personally I wouldn't put a fib on. I would find that confusing, because then I'd be looking to think, oh, price is going to come right back up and hit a certain level. But I suppose the other way to look at that is take some trades you've been in and back test them, putting a fib on to see if it did return to levels before dropping down again, because it is after all, when you get on any of these runs, it's all part of the Elliott wave, isn't it? So it will have those little retraces, those little reversals in it. So that's all for today. I've run a bit over. I do like to keep it to an hour because I'm doing 2 a day. So I'm going to stop recording, and I'll see you later today for New York at 2 p.m.